If you spend any time at all going bang with guns, you need to pay attention to protecting your hearing. Folks at Peltor have been doing that for quite a while. They are industry leaders, and in this video we're going to take a look at this Peltor Sport Tactical 500 with Bluetooth. That's what's coming up next here on Survival on Purpose. Welcome back to Survival on Purpose, your home for information and gear reviews related to camping, survival, and general preparedness for regular folks. My name's Brian. Thanks for joining me. So as I said, it's really important to protect your hearing, especially if you like shooting guns like I do. Firearms and gunshots are really damaging to your hearing. I didn't do such a good job of that when I was younger. Between a lot of shooting and a lot of loud rock and roll and those Jensen triaxial speakers, I have some measurable hearing loss and at a couple of frequency ranges in my ears. So you don't want that to happen to you. So make sure you use some really good hearing protection when you are shooting firearms. So the folks at Peltor are really famous for providing some high quality hearing protection. And they were kind enough to send me a pair of their Tactical 500s so I could show them to you. And I gotta say, I'm really happy with these things. Little quick brief ramble because you know I can't resist, right? About a year ago, a little over a year ago, I went to the fighting pistol class with James Yeager at Tactical Response up in Camden, Tennessee. Spent 2 days becoming more proficient in using a firearm to defend myself. Shot, I don't know, maybe 600 rounds total. They recommended Peltor electronic muffs, and I bought the 300s, which basically they have the ability to recognize the difference in the sound signature, the noise signature from a gunshot versus a spoken word or versus conversation. So it allows you to keep your ears safe from the gunshot but still hear the instructors, which is really important because you want to hear what's going on, right? When you got a bunch of people with guns around, the instructor may be down there. I got to say, for the entire 2-day class, I didn't have any discomfort from the gunshots, but I was able to hear the instructors and all the instructions really clearly, even when they weren't right next to me. And these were really comfortable to wear. I was wearing them with a hat that whole weekend in the hot sun, really comfortable. And again, that was a 300. These are the 500s, which are exactly the same, except these have the additional feature of being Bluetooth capable. So you can pair them with your phone. You can send and receive phone calls while you're on here. You know, they have a microphone and obviously a speaker inside here. Or you can listen to your favorite tunes while you're shooting, either one. So pretty cool there. So I've been using these for 6 or 7 months now in a lot of different situations. And I decided I would go ahead and wrap up this test with what I consider the most extreme test of any kind of hearing protection. And we'll talk about that in just a second. But first, let me tell you about the specs of these. So first of all, these have a 26 decibel noise reduction rating, which is pretty good. It's not quite as high as the passive muffs. I think the passives are a little bit higher, but the noise canceling ones have a 26 decibel. They have Bluetooth wireless technology, which basically, like I said, you can make and receive phone calls or whatever. It syncs with your mobile device. Features dynamic suppression time, which not only recognizes the difference between a gunshot and a conversation or I guess lower volume noises, but it even kind of adapts to different firearms. So it recognizes the difference between a rifle shot and a pistol shot and changes the suppression time, or I don't know how they do it. They're smarter than me, but all I know is it works. It has clear voice tracking, which really does help recognize voice patterns and the sound patterns from voices, so they really make the voices a lot clearer. It has auto shut off, so if you get to turn it off like I usually do, it shuts itself off. And it's got a low profile cutouts on it like these here, so when you nestle in with a stock, it kind of fits right in that little groove there. It just keeps it from bumping into the stock on it. Then they have this vented headband here, which works really good. If you got one of those hats with like a button on top of it, it's got a place for it for the button, and they fold up really nice. And they also have like recessed windproof microphones on them, which is what they use for the noise canceling, and also if you're talking on your phone. So there's that. Controls are really intuitive also. They're really easy to figure out. You got on and off here, and then you got kind of the controls for changing your modes or whatever right there. And then they have some really comfortable foam cuffs. I'll say the 300s, I went on and bought these gel cuffs, which were like 40 bucks for them because I thought they'd be more comfortable because I'm wearing glasses. These are the stock cuffs that come on here. Like I said, I've been wearing them for over 6 months, and they're completely comfortable. So I probably spent that 40 bucks for nothing. Anyway, As I said, I decided I would give these things the acid test, and which in my opinion is shooting a rifle on an indoor range. If you've ever been in an indoor range, somebody's next to you shooting a rifle, you know the pressures are just really magnified, and it's just, I think it's probably the toughest test of a pair of hearing muffs. So there's a range not too far from my house called the Governor's Club, which by the way is the largest indoor shooting facility in the world right now, and they have three 100-yard indoor ranges. They're kind of underground ranges. So I thought, you know, that would be a really good way to test these things. So I took my Aero Precision 308, a couple boxes of ammo, and the Peltor Sport Tactical 500s. Went to the indoor range, shot about 40 rounds with these things. So we're going to cut to that footage right now, and then I'll come back and wrap this up. So far I've shot about 30 rounds in here. The Peltor Tactical 500s are doing really good. Every time I fire here, it sounds literally like a heartbeat. And I thought it was something to do with the electronic muffs, but actually James, the guy that works at the range here, told me he calls this the heartbeat of the range because that sound just kind of echoes back and comes back in waves. So, but as far as comfort to my ears, man, it is excellent. Absolutely excellent. These things are just stinking working. Maybe I need a little music to help me shoot a little better. So we'll just pair it with the old Peltor Sport Tactical. Maybe get a little switch foot going or something. By the way, there's nobody else in here, so don't tell them I'm taking these off for a second. But the Peltor Sport 500 did an excellent job. I was really kind of concerned shooting a 308 in a pretty small environment, because this is only a 3-lane range too, so it's even smaller than a lot of other indoor ranges, and these things absolutely work. Okay, well that was the kind of indoor stuff from the Peltor 500s. I gotta say I'm really happy with these. They did a great job of sound suppression, but yet I was able to hear the range guide there telling me what's going on and how to work the equipment and work all the computer targeting systems and all that. And like I say, about 40 rounds through this in a very small environment, and absolutely comfortable both from a hearing point and from a wearing point. So these things are around 120 bucks on Amazon at the time of this video, so certainly more money than a set of passive muffs, but they really get the job done and allow you to hear what's going on around you from a conversation standpoint. Especially if you're going to take any kind of training, I highly recommend either the 500 or the 300s, because you really want to be able to hear what your instructor's saying, and I think Peltor is probably the gold standard in that category. So if you're like me and you like to shoot, but you don't want to be like me and not be able to hear everything that there is to hear, please protect your hearing, and I can't think of a better way to do it than with the Peltor earmuffs. And if you're going to do any kind of training, you want to have a conversation with people around you while you're shooting, these tactical 500s or even the 300s, 300s are about 20 bucks cheaper without the Bluetooth. They're a really great way to do it, and they absolutely get the job done. So once again, thanks to the folks at 3M and Peltor for sending me these so I could do a long-term test on them and so I could show them to you. And as always, thank you for watching Survival on Purpose. I put out a new video every Friday and every Saturday, and sometimes random videos throughout the week. There's another one right there. If you're not subscribed, you can click right down there in the corner, click that subscribe button, and click right next to it. There's that little bell thingy where you won't miss a single video. I really appreciate your support. Once again, my name's Brian. You're watching Survival on Purpose. Remember, survival's not an accident, so be prepared. I'll see you next time.